Hello, 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 and welcome back to an all new episode here on the Desensatized channel. As always, my name is Darius Cook, joined ever by the lovely Dan Cast. What's up, Dan Cast?
Doing good. I don't know if I've heard you call me Dan Cast for a while. It's normally just Cast, but
Yeah, it feels formal.
yeah,
It feels very formal. I'm used to just calling you Cast. It felt a little weird.
the evolution of my name from being Daniel to Dan Cast. Some people would call me Dan to eventually just fully shortening it to Cast has been quite an
Mm.
interesting one.
If I call you Daniel, call the cops. Say something wrong. I'm an
No,
imposter.
yeah. If any of like you guys call me Daniel, it feels like a slight at me. It feels like you're trying to insult me.
Yeah, it doesn't look right. You actually don't look like a Daniel. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, that's what my parents said.
Well, but anyways, you're looking quite handsome today.
Thank you, sir.
Uh, It's a
Likewise.
beautiful day in anime and geek culture. I'm feeling a little sick, but I'm feeling so energized by some of this anime news that we have to talk about today that I'm powering through. Well, first of all, I just want to do a quick catch up. On the last time that we spoke, I actually mentioned a new anime I was watching called Rising Impact, the golf anime.
Mm-hmm.
You may recall at the time I reported that it was for babies, but
Mm.
I've got a new update. I don't think it's for babies anymore. I think it's just a great anime that everybody should watch.
That's honestly crazy because I remember watching the first trailers. Uh, I would see some of like the moments, and I was like when you told me it is kind of like kiddish, I was like, honestly, I could see that through the trailers. Um, just it just seems so like over the top and ridiculous that like I don't know. I didn't think it could ever be like that serious, but since you're saying it is, like I definitely will have to check it out.
It's not always beating the for kids allegations. I'll say that much. But overall, it surprised me with how much it had to say about golf. It makes me want to be a golfer now. I'm more sold than ever on being a golfer. My golf journey's been tumultuous at best. I mean, I hate golf. I
Hmm.
hate the culture behind it. It makes me feel it triggers like class warfare within me. But I played it with you and the guys kind of recently, and now
Mm-hmm.
watching this anime, I'm like fascinated by the sport. There's so much more to it than I thought. And I wouldn't have thought that this show for babies, this anime for babies, would have gotten me there. But here we are.
Hey man, I never thought I'd be interested in volleyball, and then watched Haikyuu, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there trying to spike balls all day. Balls.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Fair enough, dude. It's actually crazy how like an anime can, particularly like sports animes in general, can really like bring so much interest into certain things. Men's volleyball has been like statistically one of the lowest like involvement sports around the world. There's half the states in the U.S. don't even play men's volleyball. It's only in places that you can have outdoor sports year round that actually do it. But it's crazy how much more popular volleyball has become just in the last like 5 years from the effect of Haikyuu.
Yeah. And like even it doesn't even necessarily need to be like sports, but it's just crazy how much of a driver like a good anime can be. Like there's times where I've like woken up, I didn't really feel like going to the gym or anything, and then I see like an edit of like Gurren Lagann, and I'm like, and that show like fires me up, and I'm like, ah, shit, I gotta go to the gym, I gotta get better, and like,
Yeah, no, I totally experienced that as well. There's like I want to do one day on this channel. I'm like this is like down the line, but I really want to do like a how anime raised me kind of video or like the impact of anime on my childhood. But like gym motivation, general motivation in life and like long-term goals, anime is like really good for like setting that foundational like emotional spirit to like work hard and accomplish your goals. It's kind of crazy how impacted I've relied on anime to for motivation for things so much in the past.
yeah, it's honestly great. That's one of the reasons why I really enjoy watching it is like some of those moments like you can think of in like your daily life and it'll like fire you up. So
For sure. Well, in other news, I don't. Have you heard of this anime? I started this anime this week, and I'm really into it. And I just can't believe I haven't heard of this until now. Have you heard of Elusive Samurai?
I've heard the name. I have
Yeah.
no idea like what. I mean, I could assume by the title, but uh, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know what it's about or anything.
Well, let me take a couple minutes here just to spread the good news because Elusive Samurai is an amazing anime. This having watched it this last week and just finished watching Frieren, which we'll talk about later. I really feel that we are in an anime renaissance, and it's so crazy. Elusive Samurai, it's set like in a feudal era Japan. It's borrowing some accuracies from history, but of course, it's playing with the lore and like
For sure.
fantasy elements as anime typically does. It looks like Inuyasha aesthetically, and it has like the animation approach. It's beautiful, but it looks like storybook or like the way
Hmm.
the color palette of the show looks like you're reading a book from like your childhood or something like that. Without getting too into the nitty gritty of the details of the show, it's about a shogunate's son who essentially goes on the run and has to like try to reestablish power to reclaim his spot as the shogunate of Japan. It's like super historical. But the twist is that he's not much of a fighter. He's just the best person at dodging and escaping. So he's the elusive samurai. That's kind of his vibe.
Interesting. Okay. That I can definitely see that being like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that, I'd imagine.
I'm only a few episodes in right now. The fight scenes are awesome, and there's a general good banter and chemistry with the characters. And I've heard online, I saw on TikTok, this is how I got put onto the show, but I heard that each episode just keeps getting better. They're like, I think they're over 12 episodes into the season right now, and that it's firing on all cylinders right now. So that's what I'm going to be watching for the next couple weeks. So hopefully we can update back here as the season goes along on one of our future episodes.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Because I mean, like we're gonna talk about Free Run later, but I just finished that, so I definitely need something to watch now.
You got to fill the void. You got to keep churning.
Exactly.
But to my point that I just made a second ago, I have a strong case here that we're in the anime renaissance right now. I think we're in such a good moment. How does that phrase when I say that, what does that invoke in you? How do you feel about that quote in an anime renaissance?
Um, I I tend to agree in the sense that like it seems like it's a lot more normalized. We've definitely talked about this before. There's just like people are trying to make like an anime out of everything at this point. You know what I mean? So like there's just so much different stuff coming out. It doesn't seem like it's like the same stuff over and over and over again. Like we had that whole season. I know they're still doing it, but we had a whole era of like every new anime coming out was an isekai or like something like that. Now it seems like there's a lot more variety going on. You've got like even American like studios like the ones that create Castlevania, Blood of Zeus. Um, we have the animation studio that does Arcane. I think they're out of like
Hmm.
Portugal or
Yeah.
Spain. I think it's Spain maybe. Um, and then they're all just with their own styles and everything. Like it's awesome to see. Really, there's just endless stuff that you can watch at this point in time.
Yeah. And I feel like at any point over the last 10 years, you could make an argument that we were in an anime renaissance because the trajectory of anime has just continued to go up
Hmm.
consistently. Like over the last 20 years, really. The golden age of anime would be back when Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece were all airing at the same time. That's when, a lot of foundational fans got hooked into the culture, but it was still pretty niche, at least
Yeah.
here in the West.
Hmm.
Um, and I think let's flash back to maybe about 4 years ago. We had Demon Slayer, we had MHA. It was kind of post Naruto, post Bleach world. We were getting a new gen of anime. At that point, I was getting a little concerned that anime would get too saturated, like with the isekai genre, for example. All these new anime. We get like 100 anime a season at this point. Like so
Hmm.
many are just constantly coming out. That my fear was always that we would run out of unique concepts and unique ways to build out this space. But somehow, in this year alone, there's been like 10 anime that have come out that have blown my mind with how unique they are and how much I enjoy them. For example, Tengoku Damaikyo. I can't remember what the English name for that is. What is it? Heavenly Delusion. That's what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
Heavenly Delusion came out about 6 months ago, I'd say. I mean, great concept, super
yeah.
unique,
Hmm.
feels like nothing we've seen before. Elusive Samurai's out right now. We're going to talk about Frieren, which is one of the best shows I've ever seen. Mob Psycho finished up just a couple years ago, and this historic season of Jujutsu Kaisen that just came out a few months ago.
So good.
While watching that, I felt confident that this was like the peak of anime, period. I didn't think
Hmm.
that we can go past it. But here we are. I keep seeing different shows that are meeting it at that level and continuing to surprise me in unique ways. I'm just flabbergasted and in awe to be in this time.
Yeah, and kind of like you mentioned, like it feels like the standard has been raised. So like um, even kind of like the whatever shows have like killer animation in the fights. You know, it almost makes you want to watch them. So like even the ones that have poor writing, like there is a sort of standard that now they are needing to reach, at least in some fronts. So I just feel like as we go further and further along into the future, it's just gonna keep getting raised. Like, um, I'm sure they're finding new ways to like make the stellar animation with less production time, less money. So like as that becomes a lot more affordable and accessible to even smaller production teams, um, it can only get better. You know what I mean? And it's normally the smaller ones, the smaller animation studios that are willing to take those risks because you know they need to get their name out there. They need something good. They need something different. You can't just keep pumping out the same generic stuff. Whereas like a lot of the other animation studios can pick up a lot of safer titles. You know, maybe they're not that great, but they know they're gonna get watched. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, even as you say that, what comes to mind is Solo Leveling that came
Hmm.
out a few months ago. You know, I don't, I was a big fan of the manhwa online and everything. I don't think that that season had that much in terms of meat and content in it. But even still, it's the animation and fight scenes are raised to such a bar that
Hmm.
even that show that I think overall it was executed kind of mediocrely
Yeah.
is still having fight scenes I couldn't even have dreamed of 10 years ago as a anime fan. So
Hmm.
yeah, you're right. The bar is up there. I am fearful that we'll hit the bubble at some point and we've done too much, but at this point there's thousands and thousands of anime and we're still going strong. So
Just gotta enjoy the ride while we have it.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. Maybe 10 years ago, anime in general will be like the MCU and everyone will be out on it and we'll be over it, but we'll see.
Hope not. I'm out on the MCU, Star Wars, all that stuff. The last bastion of my nerdiness is anime at this point.
Yeah, wow. Anime is king at this point. We need a president who watches anime. Could you imagine if Kamala was like dropping JJK quotes or something at a debate? I think that would do wonders.
That would do numbers. If she hit him with the nah, I'd win. It's over. Election
Yeah,
done.
yeah. That's what I'm saying, dude. For sure. Well, in that breath, we're in this anime renaissance. Right now, we're in the middle of September at the time of this recording, which means that we're about to get a big batch of fall anime dropping in just a couple weeks here. So I wrote down some of the ones that I'm anticipating, and I thought I'd just throw them at you, and we get our thoughts on these upcoming anime. How does it
Hmm.
sound?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, before I drop this list, just at the top of your head, do you have any anime that's coming out soon that's particularly on the top of your mind that you're looking forward to?
Easily, Dan to Dan. That one's
Hot take, I think it's pronounced Dadan Dadan.
Dadan Dadan.
Yeah,
Um,
that's your Dan Cast bias. You just want it to be Dadan Dadan.
yeah. But that one looks unique. Yeah, from what I've seen, the animation looks great. The opening song, banger, that got leaked, and obviously you've seen it in the trailers as well. At first, I remember I didn't think I liked it that much, but as I've seen more trailers and I keep hearing that song more and more, I'm like, honestly, this is low key a banger. Um,
I like it a lot. I do like the song a lot. I
uh
think
huh.
it's got a lot of energy.
No, it's the same artist that did the Mashal one.
Hmm.
Um,
And I feel that energy in it too.
Yeah, it's something nuts is their name. But
Mm.
anyways, that and of course Arcane.
Yeah.
That anime and Arcane, like I am like eagerly awaiting for, and there was big leaks. There's already episodes I believe of Dadan Dadan. What was it?
Yeah, I think you had it. Dadan Dadan.
Dadan Dadan, and
Yeah.
um, and Arcane. I believe there was maybe like 5 episodes leaked of Arcane.
Hmm.
I think it was a whole Netflix thing. So there was more shows that got leaked, of course, but part of me was like, oh man, like I want to watch this now, but um, I'm gonna wait till it actually comes out. And also, if it would feel horrible to like binge three of the episodes and then or 4 or 5, how many there are, and then have to wait that extended period of
Yeah.
time to get the continuation of the story.
Yeah.
And plus, you always want to support the actual teams that made it. When you watch the leaks early, you can kind of spoil it for.
Yeah. We're afraid of water. We're not pirates. We're not doing that. We're waiting for the official release only on
Mhm.
this podcast. Yeah.
But I'm just saying in the sense that I am so excited for those to come out that like I was almost tempted.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. Now, the other day you mentioned to me, uh, explain this again. We mentioned this briefly to me off camera. They are planning on doing like a theater release of the first few episodes of Daran. Is that right or no?
Yep, and it's already out currently.
So it's in theaters right now, and it's like the first 3 episodes. Is that
First three
right?
episodes plus bonus content. I don't know what that means, but yeah, they did a theatrical release, which I didn't see coming at all. It's definitely a cool idea. I'd probably go, um, but yeah, I don't know what the like they must have really looked at the numbers and be like, we've got so much hype here, we can make some money really quickly off this, just airing the
Hmm.
first 3 episodes.
I'm very down for that. I got to check my schedule after this to see if there's a time where I can do that while it's in theaters, 'cause that sounds super fun. And I've mentioned this to you. I've intentionally learned nothing about what that show is going to be about. So especially pulling up to the theater and getting 3 episodes worth of content sounds like a really fun experience to just dive into it right
Hmm.
away.
Yeah, I know like a general idea of what it's about, but I know it's going to be kind of a weird one. But I'm kind of a fan of that. I'm for it, as long as it's done well. I won't tell you anything because obviously I know you want to. Um,
Yeah. Well, maybe we can clip this and once the series is actually out or once I've seen the first 2 episodes, I can compare it. But I'm gonna just give my elevator pitch of what I think it's
okay.
about just from having seen the trailer once and seen some promotional images. A boy and a girl are out having ghost and or demon adventures. I'm gonna assume the boy has some kind of unique power where he can see them, and they're running around Tokyo and they have to catch him.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I nailed it. I know you're doing a poker face, but I know I knocked it out of the park.
You actually, I'm not gonna say anything, but you're not too far off.
Okay, okay. I
It's
also described most of the anime that are out right now. That's
yeah.
like also JJK and Chainsaw Man. Like it's not that unique, but yeah.
You got like a part of it, and it's a little different, but it's not bad just from like looking at maybe like a trailer or two. I don't know how much of it you've seen, but I've been watching like every trailer that I see pop up on my YouTube feed, so I kind of got a
Okay.
general gist now. But like I said, it's definitely still going to be really weird. Like I have no idea what I'm going to be seeing. I just know like I guess the starter plot of it, but I don't know what the hell's going to go on after that.
True. Well, we'll see how accurate I was soon.
Um,
Next up on the list. Oh yes, you have
well,
something to
what
say,
about
maybe.
you?
Oh, what am I most excited
Yeah,
for?
yeah.
Blue Lock. Blue Lock season
Oh,
two,
yeah.
100%
Wait, when is that coming out?
in October. That's all I
Oh
got.
shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
exciting.
I never got around to seeing the Blue Lock movie, but hopefully I
Yeah.
can stream that somewhere before the season comes out. Um, Blue Lock was a standout show for me last year when it came out. Again, I love sports anime. It might be my favorite genre. It's not all of my favorite shows are sports shows, but it might be one of the most fun genres for me
Mhm.
just as a fan. And that one caught me off guard completely, and I enjoyed it so much. It was coming out amongst heavy hitters at the
Oh
time,
yeah.
but it was the anime that I looked forward to every week the most. And so I can't wait for that show to be back.
I'm so excited. I didn't think it was gonna be this soon, but here
Oh
we are.
yeah, yeah. I'm actually shocked at the production schedule for it. I think that the studio is was looking for a new Haikyuu, and I don't think that. the team that was working on Haikyuu realized the success of Haikyuu was kind of slow. It was a slow burn, and so we weren't getting seasons one after another super quick or anything like that. But I think now we're in a post Haikyuu hype world. I think the studio is accurately identifying this as the new Haikyuu and is pouring more production and time and resources into it for quicker releases.
I also hope they give them a little bit more money. That way they can improve on that CGI a little bit. But that was
Yeah,
my only gripe with the show. The show's awesome. Other than that,
yeah. Well, speaking of a quick production schedule, I can't believe that this is how we're getting another season of this, but Bleach Thousand Year Blood War arc is putting out another season this season.
yeah, it's been
Are,
like coming out like kind of like Attack on Titan. It's been in parts, but like
mm,
phrased as a season. So it's like
I see.
it's been about like 12 episodes apart or like 6 episodes apart. I don't know how much it's been. It's been a little bit, but um, I forgot about Bleach too. I'm so excited for Bleach. Bleach is one of my favorite animes, top five. Um, so yeah, I forgot about that completely. That's definitely up there in what I'm excited for.
Yeah, I haven't been keeping up with this new season or anything, but I mean, I know you're saying they've been broken down into parts, but there has been a lot of parts being dropped at this point,
Yeah,
right? Like in
it's
the
been
last three
like
years, I feel like this is like the sixth or seventh time I've heard like new Bleaches coming out.
I think this is like the maybe like third part.
Okay, so I might be exaggerating a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, before the first kind of part dropped, there was so much build up to it, and then it kind of ended, and then I think they came out with another one, and I don't know if that's the one that's up to date or if they did a third one or if this is the third one. But even then, there's been a long build up for each kind of part.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the actual conclusion of Bleach. So like everyone really wants to get that kind of closure. And I've seen some manga panels, and I know some things that might happen, and they sound insane, and I cannot wait to watch it.
Okay.
You need to
Well,
to to get on that.
yes,
It,
I know.
it won't disappoint.
Bleach is a tough one for me. Bleach is a tough one for me. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it a lot over the years, but my interest has faded in and out over time, and now it's just this big iceberg of do I rewatch it all? Where do I hop back in? You know how it is.
Just watch a recap up until when they go into Hueco Mundo and they start fighting all the Espada and stuff like that. That's just like fighting all the way through for the most part, and then you get the whole full bring arc and everything that after the conclusion of that whole arc, and then you get the
I
end.
think you should make a YouTube and recap video, and then I'll watch it.
I mean, I could look into it. I don't know if I know the details well enough to
It's
really.
your favorite anime.
It
Come
is,
on.
but um, I would definitely skip over details in the sake of like just covering the bigger picture. I would have to rewatch to get a lot of like they go here, but like why was the exact reason? Who did they talk to before they got here? I don't know. Like I'd have to look that up again, but
Yeah, fair
maybe.
enough. Yeah. Well, we'll see when my bleach knowledge becomes complete. In other news, I think you're going to be hyped about this one. I haven't heard you mention this one in a while, so I think this might be a surprise to you. Fire Force season three.
Oh, dude, yes. Wait, did they have a release date yet?
There is one. I didn't write down any of the actual dates, but these are all of these will be coming out between late September to early November. So
Wait,
it's all
it's
coming
this
out soon.
soon?
Yeah. Well, I think
Whoa.
Fire Force has been confirmed for season three in October of 2024 for a while.
No, that I knew it got released. I feel like just recently they finally confirmed that a season 3 is coming out, like maybe a few months ago. I'm shocked. I didn't know it was this soon. That's amazing. Wow, this is going to be a great anime season.
Well, listen, I'm trusting the one list that I looked up online before this video, so I believe in it.
All right, well hopefully we're not spreading misinformation, but
No, we're not. If you don't believe in the list, believe in the me that believes in the list.
all
All right.
right, the Gurren Lagann quote.
Yeah. You've heard of Uzumaki before?
Yes. Yes.
this like horror manga
Yeah.
thing from Japan.
Uh-huh.
I don't know too much about it. I saw like an animated short that was supposed to be representing it, but this is an official season of anime
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be covering this dark horror series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
I'm
much about it. Do you know much or no?
uh I knew I forgot what the general like gist of it. I think you know what it is, like the kind of general idea of it, but
So Uzumaki in Japan lore uh, just like Naruto Uzumaki. He's got the spiral signal
yeah.
on his shoulder, right? Uzumaki refers to, I think the word means spiral, and then in often in Japan lore, it can refer to if you lose your friends and family, you know, your faculties around your life,
Mm-hmm.
you can spiral out of control. That's the general gist of the sentiment, I believe, and that's kind of inspired this
Mm-hmm.
tattoo I got in Japan. You know how it is. Yep, yep. Yeah, I went to Japan a year ago. No big deal. So I imagine it would resonate with some of those themes, but other than that, I don't know what the actual like manga is about.
I'm sure it has something to do with that theme and in that like but obviously more played out into like a horror of these things are like consuming someone's life and then maybe the actual spiral is kind of like a metaphor. I'm not exactly sure. um, I do love the horror genre. um, I feel like there's not too many like horror animes, at least good ones.
Not
um,
really. Not one. I can't think of any that firmly fit in that category. Like Death
yeah.
Note comes to mind, right? But that doesn't necessarily feel like horror.
Yeah, it's more like a thriller almost, or like a psychological. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know the genre as well, but um, yeah, I'm super excited for that as well. I mean, what was what's the whole series of Junji Ito?
I'm sorry.
Junji Ito, is that like the is that not the whole like series in Uzumaki's um or is that the author? Man, I'm drawing a
I
blank here.
simply don't know. You're probably right. I simply know nothing about Uzumaki.
Hmm. Okay, so Junji Ito is the author of Uzumaki.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that's and the whole like I know he's done other horror um, mangas, but yeah, okay, never mind then. But yeah, that I'm super excited for that. Junji Ito is like very famous. I feel like I've always heard his name, and especially in reference to Uzumaki. Um, so I expect good things out of it. The art style looks a little different. It's like they try to keep it kind of black and white, um,
hmm
but I'm always into that weird stuff. So
Dude, the art style makes me think of in Full Metal Alchemist when you meet like God or Truth or whatever, like when you do
just the
the,
black and
you
white.
know, yeah, you meet that black and white kind of creature
Hmm.
that like that imagery, which is so chilling in Full Metal
For
Alchemist,
sure.
by the way, such an effective imagery. But it makes me think of that. So for
Uh
that
huh.
alone, I'm very excited. I'm definitely gonna check this out as soon as it
Hmm.
comes out. All right, I know you're excited for this next one. I know you're excited. You're not ready for this. Doctor Stone, season three. Let's
They're
go.
still making seasons of that.
Oh yeah,
They
they're
ain't wrapped
churning,
it up
baby.
already.
Now, Doctor Stone is a series that is close to my heart. I enjoyed the manga a lot. During COVID, I consumed the heck out of it. I only got up to a certain point, however. So this will be the first season that is covering material that I haven't seen myself or that I haven't read. So, well, maybe I'll read the manga and then watch it, or maybe I'll just watch it from this point forward. But rest assured, there will be some more Doctor Stone in my future.
Yeah, I watched most of the first season, and then I was like, I don't care too much for a lot of the characters, the storytelling. There's not like any action really. I mean, it's cool when he's like explaining how they're gonna make these things, but I don't know. It just wasn't it for me. And I have heard that the manga's a lot better. Um, but yeah, I couldn't get through the first season. And when I heard about the second season, I was like, I think I'll skip out on this one.
Yeah, the anime, I think it's the shading and the lighting of the anime and just the choice for them to rely on like chibi versions of the characters to tell information a lot
Mm-hmm.
that it takes on much more of a jovial tone than the manga felt. It's always still been a little silly, And the action's there when you get to the action, but I won't fault anyone for struggling through the anime because I definitely see those critiques as well.
Yeah, I guess there was also like a sense of like it never felt that serious. Like it never felt like anyone was really like at risk or like could die or anything like that. It was always just like well, all right, we'll just invent this new thing or whatever, like using these parts. But like it never felt like there was any sort of like I don't know, like they would say like, oh, we need to get this done before winter or whatever like that, but like it never felt like there was real like urgency. Like I don't know.
I feel you. You didn't make it to the Stone Wars. That's okay.
No, yeah, I didn't.
Stone Wars was peak Doctor Stone, and
I
the next season, this season that we're coming into is setting up a pretty good battle arc, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, next on my list, One Punch Man is back. Can't say
wait.
I'm particularly hyped personally. One Punch Man lost me a little bit in season two, even though I think it was still a strong season overall. But it gets released so slowly over time, and honestly, I'm just not too invested in the characters at this point. Realistically, I'll probably still check it out because I know the manga is really highly received. But yeah, season three of One Punch Man. How you feeling about that?
I did still like season two. It didn't really shine a light to season one, but I think that's just because of the nature of like the production studio and like they really set a standard for what the animation for One Punch Man should be, how the fight should be, and then in season two, it's like you have a lot of those still frames. Um, like there's not too many good fights with like real good animation. Um, Genos, they made like the texture on his arms really weird compared to the other one. It was
Hmm.
like almost like CGI, if memory's serving me well. But
Yeah, no, it definitely felt like a little like jarring and like disconnected. Yeah.
which was shocking because like you would think with one of the most well-known animes, especially to the more casual audience, um, you would have the money to really put a good product out. But it seems like it's almost like they didn't get enough funding to like make this show. So um,
Yeah.
like I still enjoyed it. I'm still into the world. I like the characters, um, but if they don't step up in that front, like it'll just be like all right, because One Punch Man isn't out there to tell a good story. It's to have like really good fights, some cool characters, some funny moments, but if you're missing out on the good animation, then you're just kind of cutting out on most of it. So it's heavily reliant on that.
I agree. Season two feels like the worst parts of MHA, where it's like you get a beautiful like screenshot of
Hmm.
animation and then a flash and then just the after pose of that.
Yeah,
And it all looks beautiful, but it doesn't necessarily feel like fluid animation. It
yeah,
doesn't feel connected. Yeah, I definitely feel that as well. I think Garo, he's a compelling character, but the hard shift to his perspective for a majority of season two, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a smooth transition from season one to
yeah,
season two.
yeah, and
Not that either of them are particularly bad. It's just it feels disconnected.
I think that's just what happens to a degree when you kind of swap production studios and stuff like it. They have a different idea of how things should be done, um,
Yeah,
and it doesn't always seamlessly connect.
yeah. I got two more things on my list here. One was Arcane, which we already touched on. I think we're both over the moon excited about that.
So hype.
I'm sure that we'll be covering it on this channel.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
and then we got the Chainsaw Man movie coming out.
Yes, yes, yes. I actually really want to go to theaters to see that. Um, I'm more inclined to watch like how some animes have been doing like I know now with Dan whatever, and Demon Slayer. They've
Yeah,
been doing the movie releases, but really they're just showing you the first couple episodes of the new season. I really am more inclined to go because I want to see something new. I want to see something that might be not necessarily within the realm of the story that we're currently watching, like a different side story, but still
yeah,
canon, of course, because ton of the Bleach, One Piece, Naruto movies, they were cool side stories, but not actually even canon. So like, what's the point?
Oh,
Um,
the age of non-canon anime movies.
yeah, like, come on. But
As a kid, I ate them up, bro. I
oh,
did
for
not
sure.
care.
As a kid, awesome, coolest thing ever. Like, they're doing stuff that doesn't make sense in the realm of what
Oh
actually goes
yeah.
on. But now it's like I want, like, I feel like part of getting older is now you really care about the story a lot more. So like I
Mhm.
really want something that kind of builds upon the story that we have already.
Yeah, this is probably the hypest like anime movie release since JJK Zero. I think it's the only thing that's really comparable to it in terms of like something that is direct canon, but you probably don't necessarily need to watch in order to continue the series. Um, I'm saying that, but I also have no idea what the plot is of this movie, so I guess we'll see. And I'm probably going to keep it that way too. Chainsaw Man animation wise and fight scene wise is so much fun. Like
So
they always have such a fun way of creating like different dynamics and fights that I think it's ripe for the big screen. I think it's going to be a great theater experience.
especially because I feel like one of its strong suits, along with its animation, are its like very cinematic angles that it
Hmm.
chooses to take. Like it does some pretty sweet angles and shots that really like let the animation shine and just like you get those really cool moments. So like it's almost like it should have been in a theater already.
Hmm.
So, if they keep that up with the movie, it's going to be like a perfect theatrical release, honestly.
Dude, I love it in anime or animation when you're watching something and it feels like there's a camera, you're watching it
Exactly,
through a
yeah.
camera lens. Like it's so crazy that I could be watching something. I'm like, oh, how'd they get that camera angle? But it's all cartoons, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It elevates it if you take that kind of movie director approach to it, but you're pouring into this animation. It's interesting how those two things work together so well.
Yeah, and I feel like JJK and Chainsaw Man have really been excelling in that front. Um, and that's why, that's part of the reason why they're so good. So you get those really awesome movie moments in a 20-minute episode. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can't really beat it.
I fully agree. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean, that's it. There's plenty of other anime coming out. There was like 60 I did not include on this, but these were just the ones that I knew that you and I watch and look out for. So I just wanted to shout those out.
Yeah, I am so excited for this anime season. It's gonna actually be way too good.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Fall
eating well.
2024. We're eating
That's
well. Anime fans are gonna be full.
and
I'm a glutton. What's that?
in January, new season of Castlevania,
Yep,
which
that's right. You sent me that. I
I
can't believe it.
I fucking love Castlevania. It's one of my
Castlevania
favorite.
is another one where I respect the production team so much because they know they have a hype product on their hands. In the last 6 years, we've gotten 3 seasons of Castlevania, and this is going to be our second season of the second series of Castlevania. Not to mention the Blood of Zeus hype from the same production company. I mean, they're getting to work.
Oh yeah, they've been going
No
crazy.
vacations for them. Keep it
No,
going.
no,
Get back to work.
no. It's awesome, man. This is gonna be a good few months.
Yeah. Well, Desensitized will be here to keep you company through the Anime Fall 2024 season. We'll see you there.